we gonna go live? Is it not live? Are we live? Oh,
There we go.
Hey, that was
Yeah.
funny because who knew? Hello, everybody. Welcome to VO Journey. My name is Anthony,
I'm Gabby.
and we are voice actors.
Mhm.
And what is Wednesday? We are in the middle of the week. It is the 19th, which means
Yeah.
next week is Thanksgiving. I'm so excited, and Christmas. That means Christmas is like,
Gobble, gobble.
very exciting, very exciting. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. If you are new, just remember, please click that like button as much as you possibly can, and hit that subscribe button, as well as the bell notification.
Yeah.
And you got to go down there and hit on, because it'll usually be like a little cross through it, and you got to hit the on button. So you get notified as soon as we do go live, so we can bug you. So hi, Gabby. How are you today?
I'm good.
That's
I'm
good.
I'm good. Yeah.
That is very good.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah.
kind of, it's a little bit of a, a little slow week as it normally is prior to any holiday.
Of
A lot of
course,
people
of course.
doing the vacation thing and going out of town. And so it's just,
Absolutely.
there's like a nice little lull. It's okay.
Oh, that's good. Well, we had a great class last night. Just on a side note, we had our tech class last night.
Oh,
And we had a blast. It was really cool because, in tech class, it was really nice because we got to go through some of the things I'm hearing a lot of, like if you're having trouble with like crackling in your audio, if you're having issues with, also, I find a lot of people have a boomingness issue, whether you're male or female, right? When you tend to go down in your register some, you might get a boom in your audio, right? And a lot of times you just struggle, like, what is this? Why can't I get rid of it? So we had a great class talking about that, how to get rid of that, what to do, microphones and stuff. So it was really great. And then we got a chance to, towards the end, to review people, and give feedback and actually get audio. I had people sending me their audio, and we got to go over in class. So it's a really fantastic class. So I had a really great time last night.
Awesome. I actually, it's funny. I had a class yesterday with a VO's Journey student who is here in Charlotte, which like never happens. So I'm like, ooh, look at that. So it's always so fun when
did they come over to your house?
No, we met on Zoom, but I mean, like, but there is that fun piece of like, hey, let's get together at some point. Let's like be people and, have a coffee or lunch or whatever, which,
so awesome.
Is always so lovely when the digital network becomes the face-to-face network.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, so today we spoke on Monday, right, about cold calling.
We did. Ben had given us a great suggestion.
Yes. And so moving into, I think today we're going to talk about cold emailing. Because I think a majority of people, would you say, probably tend to move towards the cold emailing.
For sure.
Because, you can do a lot. You can schedule emails because you don't have to always be there. You're working all day long.
Yep.
So it is. So let's dive into this. Where do you start? Like, where is the first thing, like, that you think about when it comes to cold emailing?
Can we talk about email etiquette?
Sure.
I think that's a big one.
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah. Talk to us about email etiquette.
The first one that gets me is you have to have a signature, right? Signatures. Like, I get so frustrated. Yeah. I get so frustrated when I talk, with voice actors via email, and I'm like, why don't you have a signature? Like, signatures are such a great way to make it so that people don't have to hunt down your information, right? They don't have to look for your phone number. They don't have, like, you give them everything and you set it up so that it's there every single email, right? So I feel like that's a really big one. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and you can and you can tell, right? I mean, there's a professional part of this that makes so much of a difference, because we are always wondering, am I being scammed? And there's nothing more that we think we're being scammed on at this point than in an email.
And transparency, right? It's so important
to make sure everything starts with your signature, right? Is professional and is there and is accurate. So yeah,
I agree.
Point. Really good point.
I agree.
What else?
And okay, so that's a big one. And the other thing that I think is critical when you're sending a cold email is brevity,
Ooh,
right?
yeah. Good point.
Keep it short.
Good
Like,
point. There was that
don't.
whole time where it was like, oh, I'm sending an email and you have like 4 paragraphs or
Yes.
5 paragraphs in the email.
Yes.
And then there was this big study that came out by who was it? It was that SEMrush.
Mm,
And I don't know if you remember that, but anyways, SEMrush is a software company,
yeah.
or they're all about SEO, right? They do all
Yes.
kinds of SEO. But anyways, they had taken, I think it was I think it was like 1,000,000 emails. It was
Oh, wow.
insane. And they had gone through the results and everything, and they had basically come up with the most successful emails were literally 2 sentences.
Mm-hmm.
Like 2 sentences or less. And it was like, I was like, holy crap. And they're like, all this stuff, like,
Yeah.
but you get the emails that are like a page long.
Ugh.
It's like,
Ugh.
who's gonna read that? You'll read like the first
Exactly.
sentence, and then that's about it, maybe.
Exactly.
Right? Because you'll look at the
Nobody.
whole thing and be like, this is overwhelming. I'm not reading this.
Yes. And then, so I mean, it was the joke a couple years back, right? Too long, did not read. But it's
Right.
very true. You
Yeah.
can't overwhelm people's eyeballs. And the other one, and I do find this fascinating, is a lot of people get caught up on the, am I supposed to ask for permission, right? Am I
Mm,
supposed to ask for permission to send you my demo? Am I
mhm,
supposed to ask
mhm.
for permission to follow up, right? And with the demo thing specifically for voice actors, I'm like, stop doing that. Just provide a link to your website, right? Just word it in such a way that, I'd love it if you check out my demos. Here's the link, and just take people right to it. This way you don't have to worry about, can I attach something? Will they accept it? Is it going to go to spam? Like, just take all that out. Like, it's so, in today's day and age, everybody's used to clicking, right? But don't make them work for it, and make it easy. And again, that's where the signature piece comes into play.
Absolutely.
So I
Another
those are the
I
big,
was gonna go ahead.
yeah. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say another interesting thing about the signature piece is that you know, I had a student and we had done this experiment. Well, it was an experiment, but we were doing a whole variety of cold emailing and
Mm,
things like that.
yeah.
And we were also analyzing those emails and the data, and we were collecting data and everything. And
Um,
what a really interesting fact was we all the majority of all email, and it was literally like 90% plus. The people would not respond, but they would click on your signature or
mhm.
the because usually underneath your signature, something you would do is you'd put your address to your website,
Yes.
right? And I was shocked by, like, it became this thing where it was like close to 100% of the people were clicking on the website because they
Yes.
could track that in the email,
Yes.
but yet they were not responding. But we're like, wait a minute, we're getting this traffic to you, the website, which in the end is what you
Mhm.
really would like them to do, right? Is be
Mhm.
aware and be there. You know what I mean? And that was really, I don't know, Gabby, that was really eye-opening for me
I think
to see.
curiosity gets the better of us. I
Yeah,
think that's really what it is. When we talk about that old idea of leave people wanting more, that's
right.
really what that is. If you intrigue them,
Oh yeah.
they're gonna go.
Oh yeah.
And that's such a big thing. So
Yeah.
yes, I have seen that as well. I can send out cold email campaigns, and I will just see where there's this
Mhm.
big spike in web traffic
Oh,
just from
absolutely.
that.
So
No.
we have, all right, so from the setup, right? So etiquette
Mhm.
wise, as we're talking
Mhm.
about before we start talking
Mhm.
about the message itself and then the overall framework and how many emails, all that stuff. We know
Yes.
we need a signature.
Yep.
We know we need a good idea, a link to your
Mhm.
website if you have
Mhm.
one. If you don't have a website, you need to have a link to your YouTube channel.
Yeah,
You need to
something.
have something there that shows some validity, some proof, all right, some
Mhm.
sort of, something that just makes you your real person and this
Yeah.
is legit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, if you don't have a website, that's what we're here for. And you should jump on to VOJ, and you should take a look at what we're offering,
That
because
is too
we've
true. Too true.
got some amazing prices on
Yes, yes, yes,
websites.
yes.
Yep.
So we do that. Now I want to talk about the address because I think the address is super important Because one of the first things that I look at on any email I get, right, is the actual address that it came from. Okay, was it a Gmail? Now, again, I want to preface all this by saying it's not always true. Okay, that if you use a Gmail, it's spam.
Right.
Okay, but you're going to have such a higher open rate or interest rate, or at least trust given, if it is a business or an email address that goes either to like your website or your name or something, right? Where
Right.
so like, for example, I had forever Anthony Pica Productions at gmail.com, and I still have that. And I use that for years.
Yeah.
And I still do to an extent. But what I did was I wanted to get into like apica at aviosjourney.com, right? Or apica at academyvoices.com. People just like that more. People want to use that more. It is legitimate. It is great because you're not going to have people can't, like anybody can take a Gmail account and try to put their name to it, but they cannot take and put a false one to, I believe, like at your website address.
Right.
I mean, that's near like you can't do that. So
it's not impossible, but it's definitely more challenging.
It's not normal. Like, it's not going to be like, someone's got to be really like going all in to scam you on that if they're going to do that. So you want to have something there. And how do you do that? I mean, that goes through whether it's you can get it through your host. You can get the easiest way that I do now. If you don't have that, is I use Google Business or the Business Suite.
Yeah, Google Workspace is what they call
Google
it now.
Workspace, and that's where my email addresses are through Google Workspace, which is really nice because I use Gmail and I use all the Google stuff, so it makes it super easy. But there's so many different options on that. But that's what I use.
There are. And if you are using a Gmail, just make sure it's not something cutesy or coded or weird, like your first name, middle name at the year you graduated from high school.
Right.
Nickname. Like, that's
Be
not gonna
professional.
work.
Right. Be professional.
So, at the very least, it should be your name at Gmail, or it should be your name and the word voiceover, voice actor, VO, right? Something like that.
And something really cool that you can do too, you don't realize, is especially on Google, I'm sure you can do this everywhere else, but it allows you to have like, so for example, we have a support at aviosjourney.com, and then we have like casting, or there's Academy Voice, we have casting at academyvoices.com, and you can add that, and that's free. That's free, that you can add those specific addresses. They do offer paid, like if you have multiple people running it with you, but you can add as many of those off ones, or at least I think up to 25 or something off to the side, as long, they'll come, it still comes to the address and everything, but it just gives that, like, I'm a professional, I take this seriously, so I take you paying me or you hiring me seriously.
Yeah. And I will say Workspace has made it a little more challenging because you do have to pay per email now. But again, for the legitimacy, for the professional, and for the ease of send when it comes to mass email later, or if you're doing batch sending, it just, again, it makes your life a ton easier.
No, absolutely. So we have the address, right? We have your address, we have your signature, we have an address, a link to go to your website or your YouTube channel. All right. What else? Is there any
subject line?
Okay, the subject
line's a big one. So
a huge one. A huge one. The majority of, I mean, think about it. We don't open unless I know you, everything is based on the subject line. Everything.
Every single morning when I get up, and I can't imagine most other people don't do this too, right? It's just 10 minutes of me reading subject lines and clicking delete.
I know, right? I mean, like, literally.
Yeah.
Delete. I mean, it's all we do is delete. Then I often wonder sometimes, should I unsubscribe to all of these that I don't, use? But the thing is that, you really do need to take in consideration what you are putting into your subject line, like serious.
Oh, yeah.
It needs to be very serious. I've found some now. I've found like some of the ultimate ones, subject line openers that gets people to open it. But remember, there's half and half. You got to get people to open the email, but don't be Like, because you can. So what I realized, you can really be like, you could say something to the subject line, and people are like, oh, I gotta open this, and they're like, wait a minute, that's not what this really is about. So you have to be kind of careful. But again, you still have to get open. So you got to find a happy medium in there.
It's good to be a little bit clever. It's good to have a moment that makes people go, "Oh, okay, I see what they did there." That's nice. Like when I send cold emails, I think my subject line is literally, "I've got the gift of gab." And that's it. That's all it says. And, that's usually enough
That's
to,
right,
for
because that's like, what
most,
is that?
yeah. And for people that are related to this industry, of course, the double entendre makes them go, "Oh, wait a second."
So I don't know. I'm gonna leave it to you, Gabby, to tell me if you think this is a good subject line or not.
All right.
Like, or that's appropriate, excuse me, or not. But I can tell you that this one gets near 100% open rate. And I used to say something like inquiry a voiceover job. Or voiceover job, right? I call it like voiceover work. Like I literally, and that gets so like it's so much, and I feel like what they think is there's like a job, almost they feel like maybe there's a job for them. I don't know, but it gets near 100% open rate when you put something in there about work, about job, about something, you know what I mean? And I think, but it gets like I said, near 100% open rate. And
that makes sense. Sure, inquiry for voiceover work,
right,
makes perfect sense because it's
that's
accurate.
What I mean. It's
but
accurate.
It also, you're right. It does look like
you could interpret it another way. So it's but so there's going to be things like that you have to try out and see what you're okay with and what you're not okay with. You don't want it to be misleading,
right?
But at the same time, you can't just put anything over there because they won't open it, and then you'll never get anything.
Yeah,
we have a question too, by the way.
We do. I saw that. Yeah. And things like voice actor for hire or voiceover, like be careful because again, a lot of people are doing that, and you're likely to just get funneled into like a folder for later. The email is likely not to get deleted necessarily, but deferred. So Ben was asking, should you email the potential client during their work hours? Good question, Ben, but also an impossible one to quantify, right? Because like, what are their work hours? I don't know. I mean, if they're in another part of the world, if they're in another country, if they're like, their work hours might not be our work hours. So I don't worry about that.
Yeah, I think the reason why I like the email is because the email, I feel like you can do that at any time because they're going to eventually check it at some point. Right. The calling now, that was very particular about like trying to call during business hours.
Yes.
We are because, we don't want to be bothering people in their off hours if we can handle it. But the emailing, that's why I like emailing because it's more accessible, I think, to us at any time.
Absolutely. And I think all business people are used to simply answering their emails when it's convenient for them, when they deem their work hours. And if they don't want to answer it, they'll wait till the next day.
Absolutely.
So, no big deal.
Absolutely. Yeah. So great question. All right. So okay, go ahead.
Well, I mean, I guess now it's just, the body of the email. Right. And my big thing on that, with the few minutes we have left is just really try your best not to sound desperate. Try your best not to sound like you're pleading for work. Try to not overstate your professionalism because that's always a little weird.
Well, can we sorry, I didn't want to cut you off, but let me ask you this. Can we look at it from talk to us about more about like what is the overall goal? So like we're cold emailing, right? So what's our goal with our first email? What are we trying to do, right?
Ultimately, you're trying to funnel that person to your demo, to your website. You want them to listen to your demo and have that prompt them to then want to work with you further. That's it.
It's an important note, right? Because there's a lot of different things that we can also do, right? We're trying to get them there. Part of it also is, right, inevitably, we also want to create an email list.
Yeah.
Right. An email list of potential clients. We call it like warm clients or, warm leads.
Yep.
Okay. A cold lead. So if you hear this, a cold lead, right, is you have found a potential business or an email of a business that could potentially hire voice actors, right?
Mhm.
It's like, cool, you've not reached out to them, you've not done anything yet, but that's like a cold lead.
Yeah.
All right. When we send that cold email, right, what we're trying to do, just like Gabby said, is get them and turn them into a warm lead by having them do something we'd like them to do. And then also something also we could also is to, you know, get them onto our email list.
Mhm.
All right. By getting you know, and this is where the permission, this is another part of the permission comes in.
Yeah.
You know, do I need to, because we talked about cold calling on Monday, saying, you know, hey, is it okay if I send you an email? Do you know what I mean? And, you know, with my demo, so you can listen to my demo or something. And, you know, they say yes. Now they've agreed that it's okay for you to send them an email, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
and usually that means it's okay. You know, look, it's okay. I'll
Yeah.
put you on my email list. When you're cold emailing, a couple of different methods can happen. There's usually kind of like this 3 email structure that moves into your warm leads, basically meaning, and you'll see this happen all the time to us. You already know what I mean, right? Somebody will
For
send you
sure.
an email, right? And then the lately the memorous one is people will put the RE colon in the return, so it looks like they're doing a return,
Mhm.
but you
Mhm.
never sent them an email. They never sent
No.
you anything. But they'll also do something. Hey, in case you missed it, so basically you send you a first email.
Mhm.
Sometimes people don't open it. Some people don't look at it. They look at the subject line, they didn't open it. You send a second follow-up email a couple days later saying, hey, you know, I noticed you didn't open it or you didn't get the chance to read it. I just wanted to make sure you saw it. Right now, it's happening to me a lot from people is, you know what I mean? It looks like you missed it or you didn't see
Yeah.
it, or, you know, I just wanted to
Did you
make
miss my
sure you,
last
right,
email?
right,
Yeah.
right. And that's the main,
Mhm.
yes, clearly I missed your last email. But then there's a third one saying, you know, this is, hey, you know, just reaching out for the last time.
Yeah.
And what you're doing is that now, why 3 emails and not 4 or not 2? I don't know. We like the number 3.
Yeah.
All right. So, but I think that what it does, what we're trying to do is get a response or an
Mhm.
action to
Mhm.
then justify putting them into our warm leads
Yeah.
or, you know, potential leads that we can email again in a month or something,
For sure.
you know, right? So that's kind of an overall, that's one overall emailing, I guess you would call it process, right? That you
Mhm.
take.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that?
No, I think that that's pretty much what people are doing. I don't know how necessary it is. You
Mm,
know, when it comes to voice actors, I think that sometimes, you know, I feel like personally I don't want to bug people that much. So I just go with the one. And then I typically follow up, believe it or not, it might be like 3 months later before I send another. So, that's all.
yeah,
But since
yeah.
we're kinda out of time, do we wanna pick up the discussion tomorrow, talk a bit more about
Yeah, I think so.
email? Yeah.
I
Okay.
think so because I think it's an interesting topic because like I just gave a method and you have another method and
Mhm.
there's a variety of different ways and I would then say that depending on who you're reaching out to also
Oh,
matters,
yeah.
right? Like it matters a lot from what industry you're reaching out to. Also who, like we didn't talk about, where do you find these cold leads,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Where do we, you know, and then how do we approach, like for example, are we going to approach, you know, corporate e-learning the same as, you
Mm,
know, a company that's now producing, you know,
right.
TikTok videos
Right.
for for small marketers, right? Or
Makes
small
sense.
businesses, you
Right.
know, so these are different.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
hey, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Really wonderful topic today.
For
Really
sure.
good job. And thank you
Yeah.
guys so much for your participation. Make sure again you hit that like button. And see you all
Tomorrow.
tomorrow. Tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. See you later. That
Bye.
was weird. No, it wasn't weird. All right. Bye.